Hello and welcome to Hey, I Loved That Movie, the podcast where we rewatch the films we loved when we were younger to see if they still hold up. I'm Dan.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Helena.
And for this episode, we watched Thunderpants.
Thunderpants.
Right, before I get into it, had either of you two
Yes.
seen this movie
Yes.
before?
I had seen this film quite a lot.
Same.
Like a lot
Yeah, I've seen this
growing up.
before.
Oh, good. Yeah, it was just like on TV a lot. And
Yeah.
I remember at the time, just the whole thing was, look, Ron Weasley's in this. He was...
Yeah. Was this...
And yeah, I watched this quite a few times.
I want to ask Rupert Grint if he remembers... No one remembers this film. But what he thinks about it. I want to know, like...
I'd love to know about... the guy that plays Patrick Smash, he only did this and two other movies and then didn't act again. I would love to find out what he thinks of this.
Yeah. Probably... I don't know. I have no idea. This film is so strange.
It's very strange. And then towards the end, it just gets a bit of a swell of heart. And I was like, hang on. This shouldn't be okay.
Yeah.
I was expecting dog shit.
This
Which it is for a
film's
bit, but...
so fucking odd. I don't even know how to describe this film.
I'd describe it as a British indie film about a kid who farts loads.
Yeah. Set in the 80s, maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of... Yeah, it's a very...
No, I know where
time.
this is set. This is set in The Matrix. Because this film is just green. This film is so green.
It's very drab British.
Right? But why did they pick green?
His t-shirt's green, I don't know.
That's like
no idea.
Green
But
filter.
the cast, shall we just start at the top with the cast?
Yeah.
Because obviously Rupert Grint, weird because obviously that this was sort of riding on the fame of Philosopher's Stone.
I assume that he did Philosopher's Stone, didn't know it would be big, did this film at the same time.
Yeah, they're only a year apart.
Yeah, I assume he was making this whilst doing Philosopher's Stone. Then Philosopher's Stone came out, got big, and was like, oh, he's also in Thunderpants.
Yes.
I assume that's what happened.
Yeah, and he's also, playing a very different character. So I guess it's good for him to be like, I've got range.
Yeah. I can play the nerd
Hermione
too.
Yeah.
Then his the main character is the actor's called Bruce Cook, and so he's only been in a couple of films, but he plays Patrick Smash, who's just this.
What? Who signs up on that name?
All the names in this are ridiculous because I'm pretty sure Ron Weasley's character is called Alan A. Allen.
Yes.
And it's everyone's just got really dumb names in this, but it's so just kid orientated, and the whole movie is based on that farts are funny.
100%.
Stephen Fry is in a little bit of this.
Yeah, he's in it for a second. If you blink, you'll miss him.
Do you know who is in this for If You Blink, You Will Miss Her? And I'm wondering if you guys noticed who it was in the background when the musician guy comes out after he heard Patrick fart that time.
No.
So he comes out and there's a couple of people behind him. And the one girl behind him that has one line is Keira fucking Knightley.
Is it Keira Knightley?
It's Keira Knightley. Oh, I was like, gee, I was expecting her to come back, but no, she's in it for one line. Same year as Bend It Like Beckham.
Yeah. What the fuck is up with this? What is this film?
It's
so confused.
It's a British classic.
I'm so confused.
No.
So we've got this kid, because we've got to assume a lot of people haven't seen this film.
Yeah, no, I'm very surprised.
I don't know. I assumed no one else had seen this ever, but it's starting to feel like everyone had seen this film and no one is willing to talk about it.
Yeah, I feel like this is
also
where
possible.
everyone knows it, and it's like you mention it and people are like, oh yeah, I remember that one. It's about
This is sort of like, it reminds me of like the type of film that I'd start watching on TV and my mum would be like, no. we're
Yeah.
watching something
Yeah,
else.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, because I definitely didn't remember, like, the middle bit where he goes off and be's a musician and stuff. I remember, like, the bits at the beginning where he's, like, farting and they make the little hovercraft, and then the end where he goes to space.
Yeah.
Like, the kind of hijinksy bit in the middle, I kind of forgot about parts.
I'd totally forgotten about his like weird journey that gets him to being a spaceman, because for some reason he's too dumb to know the word astronaut. But whatever.
Yeah, he's not the smartest kid. So this is about, what's his name, Patrick Smash?
Patrick Smash, yeah.
Patrick Smash.
He's a boy with a condition. He's got a problem. That's what he calls
He's
it.
got a problem. And he's like so British.
So British.
He's so British.
I've got a problem.
I've got a problem.
I hope you can help me with my problem, Alan.
Yeah, he's so good, and yeah, he has a condition which is he just farts a lot.
Yeah, he's got
like
two
non-stop.
stomachs,
and
so
non-stop.
he's got uncontrollable flatulence.
And it's like they find out about the two stomachs when he's how old is he in this? I guess they're like year 7s, are they?
Yeah.
Like first year kind of.
Yeah.
And so 11. I'm like,
yeah.
Why the fuck has no one looked into this before?
Right? They're like, he's
yeah.
got a serious problem as a child. Our child has this clearly has a intestinal problem.
Yeah, uncontrollable flatulence.
They're like, it'll be fine. It'll
be fine. It's fine. Instead, the dad just comes up with some contraptions to try and get rid of the farts, and one of them, he's like got a tube going out the window, and then the tube snaps and hits him in the face, and it was like that scene at the beginning of Midsummer, but it's a kid farting instead of a car. The dad leaves for cigarettes. The mum's an alcoholic, and his sister hates him, and his sister...
Oh my god, yeah.
His sister is fucking Susan from Narnia.
Yes. That's who it is. I thought she looked familiar. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is a real British film, isn't it?
It is.
One of his bullies is
it's Crab
or Goyle. Yeah, I think it's Goyle, because Crab is the one that got arrested for having a weed farm.
Oh, right.
What? Why does everyone in this film dress and look like a goth? Like, everyone's got like that kind of black bowl cut look.
Yeah, Patrick looks like goth Dennis the Menace.
He looks like
his hair is so flat and like ironed on.
He looks
and
like
then
the
his
son.
sister's the same.
The son from the Addams Family.
Yeah,
like that's what
really
he
does.
looks like.
I mean, with the t-shirt, he looks like the son of Sandman.
Is it
from
Wesley?
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
What's Wesley?
Yeah, he looks like he should be in the Addams. This whole film looks like it should be like an Addams Family adjacent film. And it's not. It's about
Wesley's
farting.
the little. Oh no, Wesley Taylor. What's the son's?
I don't know.
I thought it was Wesley. I don't know. I've never really seen any Addams Family things.
You never seen? Oh, we
should
should.
do the Addams Family.
Pugsley.
Pugsley.
Yes.
But yeah, so this film has like Addams Family veneer, but green.
Yeah.
And it's like the same style. It's that sort of like kind of really theatrical.
Yeah, are they like trying to show that he's quite poor?
Yeah.
And like, because there's a lot of like it's clear that there is like a lot of poverty in his family.
Yeah.
And he's not. Yeah, like the school is very grey and rife with bullying, and he hasn't got much. It's clear like he's not going to have many opportunities.
Yeah,
like, that sort of made quite clear. And like I'd totally forgotten, because I saw this at least a few times, I think, as a kid, and I totally glossed over like his mum pouring herself a drink before taking him to school in the morning.
Yeah, it's really drab. Like,
well, yeah, because
and like her crying as the dad is just like leaving because he can't handle it, and like obviously, what's his name? Smash. Patrick feels bad and confused, but then he's not old enough to really understand.
Yeah.
But his sister is, and it's like, he's left because of you. Like, this is your fault.
Yeah. Because again, they just didn't take him to a doctor until he was like 13.
It's because like you have to phone the doctors at 8 a.m.
That's true.
And because you can't actually book an appointment. But even if you phone dead at 8 a.m., the appointments are all booked up, which is weird because you can't book an appointment unless you phone at 8 a.m.
Also, everyone's fucking horrible to him. Everyone's
awful. The only reason Alan is friends with him is because Alan has no sense of smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like his mum kind of hates him, his sister hates him, the school bully hates him, the school teachers hate him.
The school
because
hate
they're
him.
having that quiet prayer and he does a big fart and he's like, "This was the worst day of my life."
This was
Oh yeah, that's
that-
the reoccurring lines are like, "It was
Yeah.
the worst day of my life ever,"
Ever.
and then
Or the
like,
best day of my life.
"Oh, the best day of
Ever.
my life ever."
His voiceover is so weird.
It is like we've got to make sure that people know exactly where
What
he's
is
from,
happening. And
he always sounds sick. Like he always sounds slightly confused about what's going on.
he sounds lost. He sounds like he's just like been put in a room somewhere.
He sounds like he's got some sort of methane poisoning or
yeah,
something.
okay. Yeah. Oh, it's so strange.
Yeah. There's to be producing that amount of gas. There's got to be some sort of toxic buildup.
There's something very wrong. And again, he goes to the doctor. They finally take him to a fucking doctor.
I was like, had they not done a scan? Like,
Right?
where's the X-ray?
But even the doctor's like, eh. The doctor's like, oh, amazing. He's got 2 stomachs. And they're interconnected with each other. Goodbye. What?
And it's like
What do
his
you
mum
mean?
tries to control it with like
Food.
really dry, horrible food, which looks like actually that would be like the worst thing for essentially like serious IBS, which I guess is
Yeah.
what this
Yeah.
kind of would be.
But also, like, I assumed when they were giving him, like, that food, that it was specially made to, like, help with his condition, because they went to a doctor when he was a child. But no, she's
No.
just feeding him, like, brown stuff.
Like, have
Yeah,
these
it's
dry
just
things,
like
you're never
seeds
allowed
and-
baked beans.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his sister's always like rubbing it in his face as well. Like there's
Yeah.
a scene where he gets like sort of weird, sad-looking vegetable granola,
Yeah.
and she's having baked beans on toast. Again, looking as an adult's eyes, poverty dinner.
Yeah.
Because baked beans on toast is very much end of the month kind of food.
Yeah.
But as a kid, like, you're like,
as a
oh,
kid,
fuck
also,
it.
oh yeah, baked beans on toast.
Fuck yeah,
beans.
beans and toast. Yeah, I'll have that for dinner tonight.
And,
I do like, so Alan essentially makes him, Alan's like an inventor, he's really smart. He makes Patrick these like essentially boxer shorts that can contain the farts.
Yeah.
So
that
they,
scene
and then
where
they
he-
extract the smelly
Yeah.
gas
Because
out.
it-
I guess it's got
Yeah.
some sort of HEPA filter in it, and then
Yeah.
that
'Cause it
goes into a
take-
little lunchbox as like condensed fart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes until then for them to go, oh, maybe we can fix the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we can create. They just hadn't thought of it up to that point. Like, he just had to just sort of deal with having that condition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a way of dealing with it, and then
Well, yeah, it looks like his dad tried when he was a baby, and then
Yeah.
gave
Yeah.
up, and no one stepped in to like maybe we should carry
No
on.
one
Like,
thought,
yeah,
maybe,
because the
maybe.
theory is there with like the plastic, like he duct tapes a bin bag around his waist, and like
Yeah.
obviously the like aircon tube
Maybe,
going out of the vent tube going out of the window.
maybe, I don't know, maybe a doctor could prescribe some form of medication that might
Yeah.
help.
yeah.
Just getting
Yeah.
some, maybe he just needed some proton pump inhibitors, like, or some IBS treatment.
Yeah, the doctor's
But it's
just...
sad, isn't it, that it's and I feel so much more. Obviously, you're supposed to feel bad for him even as a kid because he farts, but it's the medical negligence that's
Yeah.
really quite upsetting as an adult. It's like, no, this kid is being tortured
As-
by his
as
own
a-
body.
As a kid, it's that kind of, like, sad fantasy that some kids get where they go, like, oh, the world is terrible. All parents or adults hate kids and will just ignore them.
Yeah.
Like, you have that... Was that just me?
No, it did have that kind of vibe.
Parents
of,
are
Right.
like either
He's on
absent
his
or
own,
the enemy
yeah.
in a lot of kids' films
Yeah.
and TV shows.
It had that vibe of, like, adults are bad and will ignore the kids.
And don't
if they have
forget,
a
like, we are
problem.
the Tracy Beaker generation as well.
Yeah, like, it's that... Yeah, it's same vibes as
like-
Tracy Beaker. Like,
Yeah.
adults are bad.
Yeah, neglect.
Neglectful. It's that vibe, but it's so much worse because it is like, and again, is it his perspective being like that's how he sees it? And
No,
maybe
because he
the
doesn't
adults-
seem to think like he still loves his.
No,
sister
he
and
doesn't.
his
You're right. He
mum.
doesn't think.
He doesn't. He doesn't seem like he's ashamed of his problem and he wants to fix it,
Yeah,
but he doesn't know how, and he doesn't have the.
yeah,
He doesn't have the support he needs to speak out and like demand help from a doctor. He's got no advocate. His mum
Yeah.
should be, sat in the doctor's office refusing to leave until they come up with a solution.
Yeah.
Kind of, that's what a child with a serious medical condition needs.
Yeah, but
Because
her
he's
brain
not
is
equipped
fried.
to deal with it, and because it's kind of icky,
Mm.
and stinky, like he's very vulnerable.
Yeah. It's awful. And the teachers are fucking awful. Like,
Yeah,
every
the teachers
teacher there
have
is terrible.
they're cross with him for farting, and it's like,
Yeah.
it'd be
Yeah,
one
you
thing if
can't
it was
help
like
it.
someone did it deliberately, like it's not like someone letting out ripping a big one in like the 2 minutes of silence on Remembrance Day as a joke,
Yeah, clearly the
Like-
kid has a condition.
and like it looks like it causes him a lot of physical pain to try and not fart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also weird that he has 2 interconnected stomachs and his only problem is that he farts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
not
think
that
he
he-
can digest. Maybe he's just
Yeah.
really good at digesting food, which is how he's lived off Raisin Bran for like the last
Probably. But it,
like 10 years.
it feels like that as a condition would cause more problems. Like, there'd be other
I mean, this
effects of
film
it.
does like depart from reality fairly quickly,
true.
despite its like gritty British realism. It
True.
is then purely fantastical when it comes to the actual volume of trumps
No, that is true.
Just
available.
ridiculous fart jokes. I fucking love when he's got his new like fart trousers on, and he just like slowly walks into that music and takes that scoop of baked beans.
Yeah.
And throws the spoon in the air like in Space Odyssey.
Yeah. So Ron
Right.
Weasley makes him pants with a lunchbox shaped thing that
Yeah.
contains it.
Yeah. And then at one point the bully tries to like steal his lunchbox and opens it, and it's just a bunch of compressed farts that hit him in the face.
that was good payoff, because like the bully, we see him earlier on, is like, give me your lunch, and
Yeah.
it's just
Why
obviously
would
it's like
you
this horrible
wanna-
shit, and he's like, tomorrow I want jam.
Yeah,
Yes.
like why would you nick that kid's lunch? He's not got anything interesting.
Clearly.
Well, you don't know, does he? Because he's just got a big
Yeah.
lunchbox.
Also,
And
it's
I think
just-
because he's quite a chubby kid as well, you might assume that he's
It's
getting
just
like
to bully the
cake and-
kid. It's just a way to bully
it's just a power
kid.
play.
Because he's like, you're in my side of the playground, and
Yeah.
the dude's, and he's like, oh, I thought it was over there. He's like, nope, it's here now. Just finding a reason to, it's a bully thing. Just find a
Yeah.
reason to bully him. Although when he does open the fart container and it like sprays at him, it sprays like a green powder at him. What the fuck is wrong with Patrick's stuff? Patrick Smash.
I
Because
guess it's sulfur.
fuck, like, that's a serious. I feel like the Doctor hasn't considered that part of it, that he has a collective green powder coming out of him.
I guess it's where it's compressed. It's like
Maybe
forced all the
deal with that.
molecules together, and it's actual shit.
Maybe like deal with that first as a
Yeah.
condition. The medical negligence in this film is beyond. Anyway,
Yeah.
somehow, so yeah, has the but he's
the
just walking around.
Thunderpants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just walking around one day and farts in front of this big house, and the guy, there's a singer, world's second best opera singer in the world, is there, who can't hit a high note. That's like there's a single high note he cannot hit. No one can
We
hit.
have to say his name as well, because it is Placido P. Placido.
That's it.
Of course.
And yeah, Patrick's wandering around one day outside of his mansion and farts and hits the perfect note.
Yeah, it like
Yeah.
shatters the glass and everything.
Yeah.
We've skipped a little bit ahead, because what we also see is that Alan is being sort of watched.
Yeah.
And it turns out
Yeah.
he's being recruited by NASA /
Yeah,
Secret
he's
Service
government.
as a child genius.
Yeah, because he's trying to invent. There's a competition where you have to fly 100 feet without like any
Touching the
mechanics or
ground.
anything.
I
Yeah.
thought they meant up, but not across.
Not
Yeah.
across.
So when they just got a hovercraft, I was like, well, that's not going very high up, is it? Because it's only like a foot off the ground. But then it's
And
like,
when you think about it, it should be up, because the competition is to find like. So there's background story, B plot. There's a space
so
station.
B, almost D to
Yeah.
F plot.
There's a space station up. There's a rocket in space, and they're trapped. The astronauts up in space are trapped. They cannot get off the space station.
Yeah.
And
they
they're
need
trying
a
to
rescue
work
mission,
out.
and the rescue missions so far have been unsuccessful.
Yeah, and Patrick is obsessed with becoming a spaceman.
Yeah,
Um,
that's his dream.
that's his dream, and so yeah. So when you think about it, if they were going to that competition to see if he could make a flying machine, it would have made more sense if the competition was up and not across.
It
Because
sounds like the competition's more just a random.
oh yeah, no,
thing
it's
that
like a
village
local
does.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rather than it being like a test center for MI6.
No. But him being
Um,
able to fly horizontally doesn't show how well he can build something flying going up.
No, but
Yeah.
it's still using the power of Patrick's farts to.
But,
It-
but then
It's
why
more
don't
about,
they
it's more
take
about his
Patrick?
inventive qualities, isn't it?
Then why don't they take Patrick? They're just like, so they take Ron Weasley, the
Yeah,
US
and they've
government.
been watching him in other situations as well. Like
Yeah.
they're watching him with the Thunderpants, and they're watching him with his other contraptions.
Yeah. US government takes Ron Weasley,
And he's never seen again.
never seen again. And his
Actually,
dad
it's
is
really sad because
and-
his
and-
only friend's gone.
Yeah, it's only his only friend, the only guy that can't smell.
Yeah.
Is gone, and his dad is absolutely horrible. To him as well.
yeah. His dad is awful, but also like his son has been taken, like to do something really important.
Yeah.
And he like, please don't ruin this for my child.
Yeah. So instead, Patrick is found by Placido
Yeah.
and starts to go on a world tour with him, standing
Yeah.
off stage doing the fart for the high note.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
the
so
whole time
Placido-
he's asking where Alan is.
Yeah, he agrees to go with Placido because he's like, well, I'll have to take this opportunity because maybe I can look for Alan while I'm traveling the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because all
'cause
Placido
all he
said
knows
is
is he's gone to another country.
Yeah.
And his mum is just like, yeah, whatever, cool, I guess. Like, we don't even see his mum, like, agree or disagree with it. It's just like, yeah, whatever, off you go.
He goes.
He goes, I
Hi.
fucking love the, like, sort of montage of him showing different people the picture of Alan, and it's
Yeah.
just the most stereotypical, like outfits from that country you can think of.
Yeah. But yeah, the weirdest part of the film is the singing bit.
Yeah,
In the
this is
middle.
the bit I'd forgotten about.
Weird. Because yeah, this is the B plot. Is this the B plot?
I
Or is
think this
this-
is like this. This is the A plot. This is part of it. But
Is
yeah,
it
there's
the
a
A
little
plot?
there's a little subplot, but not a
Yeah.
B plot. It's a micro plot. Is that Placido is the
Hey.
second best singer in the world until he can hit this high note, and then he's the best singer in the world because
Yeah.
apparently range is all that matters.
Yep.
Yeah, and the guy who was the best singer is now kind of spying on him and finds Patrick, like, because Patrick's got to practice his farting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the other guy very obviously he's
Poisons
like,
a
yeah,
child.
you're not allowed to eat dessert until you've practiced. And then
Yeah.
this other guy pours poison or
He
laxative or something
poisons
into
a
a trifle.
child. Poisons the child, which is an
Yep.
insane thing to do.
Yeah. But I mean, in the context of the film,
That's true. In the Matrix, it's not real, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. No. So when the next night, that night on stage, as well as doing the high pitched fart, it keeps going, and I'm pretty sure he just shits himself.
Yeah, I think that's
But
where
he
that
farts
goes.
so hard that a light falls off something and kills the guy.
Yeah, kills
Yeah.
the number one singer. And then they take the child to court.
Yeah, they
for
take him to court and they're like,
murder.
your fart killed him. And the guy who's defending him
It's
is like,
so-
no, the bolt was already broken. That could have fallen at any point. Like, it
It's
was
so
shoddy
wild.
work.
It's number one. Stephen Fry is the prosecutor, and he's incredible. Out of
Just
fucking
remember what
nowhere. Out
yeah,
of
and
nowhere.
it gets so this goes absolutely. It starts what? This goes absolutely fucking mental at this point.
Yeah.
They find him guilty and he's in front of a fucking
Well,
firing squad.
Yeah, they sentenced
Just-
him to death by firing squad.
Not even at that point. Like Stephen Fry in this film is the same vibe as he is in the girls' school film. What's it called?
Centurions.
Centurions.
Yeah.
Same vibe, just appears, is in it. Nothing else. Then they go through all of these people, all of the people from Patrick's life that don't like him, just saying horrible shit about him and being like, yeah, he wanted to kill him. He's a bad kid. He's like, where is anyone to defend him? Where's his mum or whatever?
Oh yeah,
like,
because the flying machine competition, like Alan won like £100 or something, gave
Yeah.
it to Patrick, and then Alan disappeared, and they're
Yeah.
like, "That's suspicious. His friend disappeared when he got money."
To be fair, that is suspicious.
Yeah,
But like his bullies, like is awful. His like I swear his teacher is like his head teacher's on the.
yeah.
It's so insane and it's so quick and like stressful to watch.
Yeah, it goes from, okay, this is a bit surreal, he's farting for an opera singer, to death by firing squad.
And it's not even like
It's like, oh yeah, this is a gritty British drama again.
but it's
he's
like
full on got like a blindfold on, and he's just standing there like,
it's
the worst day of
instant.
my life.
Did they
ever."
let us write the twist for this film? Like, why is the kid being murdered?
But it's fucking instant. It's not like
Yeah.
you're found guilty. It's like you're found guilty, taken out of the courthouse, round back and shot.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
it.
yeah, they're
like
putting him down like a dog.
Like a horse at the
instantly.
races.
Yeah.
And he's just like, well, that was my worst day of my life by far.
And I'm thinking, like, well, yeah, to be fair, I agree
Yeah.
with you on this one, Patrick.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
this one's
pretty
fair.
fucking bleak. But just as all hope is lost, and to save the day is the fucking NASA.
Like a US government, but FBI agents, whatever, turn up and just drive in front of the firing squad.
Yeah.
They just get there and they're like, right, you come in with us. And he's still sad because he misses Alan. And then they're
he's
like,
like-
here's Alan. He's like, fuck yeah.
But he's like, but the FBI agent gets out of the car and he's like, I spoke to your prime minister or whatever, or the queen. And he's like, I got his thing overturned. It's like, this happened so fast.
So fast.
This happened so. I didn't realize it until like after it happened. I was like, this is so quick. Where like,
Imagine, like, you know, they stopped at the drive-through and there was a queue.
yeah,
And then it's like, yeah, we're here for Patrick, and they just look at the like body bag. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, and then like all the astronauts in space die.
right.
Alan grows up to be like a horrible,
So-
evil scientist.
So they take him to Air Force One.
Yep.
Also in the car when Patrick's like, "Do you mind if I?" And they're like, "Yeah," and put on gas masks.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
nice. But yeah, they take him to
They knew who he was.
they take him to Air Force One, and they like remake his. They kind of like make a nice bedroom that he has
Yeah.
with like the picture of Alan and everything. And it's like, this is where the heart of the film starts, and it's so close to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's suddenly like he has value now.
Yeah,
And they're at they're at NASA and he's reunited with Alan. And
Yeah.
then there's a project to rescue the stranded astronauts, but it's actually being led by the greatest minds of NASA is actually really
Children?
smart children.
yeah, bunch of smart children. The American government goes around the world finding smart children
Yeah.
And kidnapping them.
and
essentially.
kidnapping them.
Or giving their parents an offer they can't refuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the kids have been inventing this like rocket, but for some reason the actual
The actual rescue ship doesn't work.
yeah, so they
Mechanical
need
error.
like the type of engine that the ship has is exactly the same as his intertwined stomachs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so they
it's...
built Thunderpants 3, the fart rocket spaceship.
yeah. And yeah, they go. What's also fucking what? Best joke in this film, by the way, and I love this. I love this in every joke ever. The head of NASA. It's brilliant when he says like, he just says something ridiculous and then has to wait to be. The first time he meets Patrick, he says, "That boy's a fruit," and everyone's like,
Yeah, you're a
What-
fruit, son.
"What do you mean by a fruit?" It's like, well, God created a tree and we have his precious life-giving food and those are fruits. You're a fruit, son. I love that. I love it so much.
I really loved the bit where like he's like getting ready to go on the spaceship to go on this rescue mission, and just like they're just talking about how like to prepare he's eaten every bean in a 10-mile radius.
Yeah.
It's also fucking insane that they're like, oh yeah, they're testing. They all come down to test the rocket system, And like as soon as they finish testing the rocket system, it's like 30 seconds until takeoff.
Yeah.
Why would you?
Well,
what
they're
if,
like, so it's
What if it didn't-
we've had the results back, and there's a 70% chance it's going to explode, like
No.
on takeoff.
Yeah.
But why would you test the rocket 30 seconds before
Yeah.
takeoff? What if it didn't
Yeah.
work?
It's
Well,
like
I think that it's
yeah.
not testing; it's like running the numbers, kind of hidden figure style, where it's like
fucking wild.
we're doing the maths, and
Yeah.
this is statistically what might happen.
No, that was a
Yeah.
when they get him on, like, do the test. That's a test to see if the rocket works, because
Oh, right. Oh,
the
God.
head of
And then
NASA
after
is
that
like,
is when they then start. They
Yeah.
start doing the numbers while he's strapped in,
Whilst
and
he's-
also while he's strapped in, he opens that little metal case, and there's just some
Is-
sprouts in it.
some sprouts in there. But yeah, they test it 30 seconds before they get in. They get into the how did they get it like built into the ship in that time? Is a
It's so
question.
funny, and also one of my favourite just oh for fuck's sake moments of the film is obviously Patrick walking onto the spaceship and down on the little
Walkway, catwalk.
Oh, yeah, on the little walk state. What are they called?
Catwalk,
No, for
Gangway?
planes.
gangway.
Yeah, you know, for getting on and off a plane.
Oh yeah.
Boardwalk.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, getting on. He's on the boardwalk. That's definitely not it.
No, it's not.
Anyway, my point is he's getting walking onto the spaceship, and he's got a pretty normal looking spacesuit on. And then just a little glass panel in his little butt cheeks, where obviously he's gonna screw into the
Yeah.
into the like engine. And it's full on bum. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just obviously it was coming in this film, but this film for all the fart jokes and everything, like there's no shit. There's no
Yeah.
like the worst is definitely the like splatter of like concentrate fart in
The green mist.
Crab and or
Yeah.
Goyle's face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so seeing the bum was just like, oh shit, they did it.
Yeah.
It really like tickled me because because there's no nudity in the film apart from it's just his little butt window.
Bum. But yeah, so he gets on the ship, and
Yeah.
yeah, then
strapped
they
in.
say
There's
there's
79% chance it'll explode. Like there'll be a chain reaction, and the whole rocket will explode.
Yeah.
And Patrick's
And,
like, I just want to do my best.
Well,
do
they're
it."
like, it's up to Patrick to decide. What about all the other astronauts that are working
Yeah.
on the ship? Get them off. They might not want to do it.
He's sitting in there, and he's just like, I want to be their friend because I needed a friend, and that was Alan, and that's why I want to
Yeah.
go and rescue them.
And they're broadcasting this everywhere.
Yeah,
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 everyone's watching it, including his mum,
yeah.
Yeah.
and she's not like, hold up. Don't I get
Yeah.
a say as his legal guardian?
Like
She doesn't
he makes
care. She wants him to explode.
like everyone feels bad for about themselves. Everyone feels guilty because he's just
they've,
like
they've all shot on him and basically
Yeah.
got him
I
firing
tried to
squadded.
do nice.
And he's about to go and go on this rescue mission because he's the only one on that ship going up on the rescue
Is he?
mission.
Yeah, it's
Um,
insane.
But I like how there's the countdown to launch and then nothing happens, and they're like, "Patrick, you can fart." It's like, oh, okay.
But yeah, he's so brave. He's like, and his
Yeah.
lines. Obviously, it's sort of stunted by the fact that he is saying it in his confused British accent.
It's a little
But he's
Yeah.
like, I do want to help people, and I know what it's like to be shat on by literally everyone who's supposed to support me, and
Yeah.
you're all
I
a
was-
bunch of cunts. But
I was
I'm
gonna
going to
be
do
at
this because I'm actually a better person for my farting capabilities.
I was
Oh,
It's
gonna
not.
be
It's not
problem.
quite as nuanced as that, but
I'm going to take my problem and use it wisely, and then my dream will come true. And I'm like, how is this so
like,
emotional?
and I was like I don't know if it was a hormones thing, but like I was fucking tearing up watching this.
Yes. Like, the rocket goes, and this gave me more fucking sadness of him. Like, I knew he wasn't going to be dead, but I felt more for Patrick Smash than I did that fucking cat in Oliver and Company at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, Patrick might actually have just exploded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's so genuinely brave because the odds have been against him his whole life,
Yeah.
and they're still against him now, and he's fucking going for it,
Yeah.
doing the only thing he's ever been good at.
Exactly.
And he's not, he's finally using his trumps for good.
Yeah.
I love how like they they lose the signal and they think that they're like, oh god, he's gone. And then they can just hear this like high pitched noise, and they're like, "Wait, that's the pitch of his fart. He's alive." Like he doesn't say anything.
No,
He's busy.
he's concentrating.
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
goes
Oh my
and he
goodness,
rescues
the
other
test fart
astronauts.
scenes and everything are so funny. Oh, we missed out one scene as well that was just horrifically filmed. And that is where he's chasing Crab and or Goyle around the
it's awful.
woods because they were bullying him, and he's like, "Well, actually, my trumps are disgusting, and you're going to back the fuck up."
That's
Obviously,
what
he doesn't
leads
say
to
that.
him farting in front of the musician, I think.
Yeah, like Crab is like, "No, please stop!" And he's like cowering in the woods, and he lets rip, and like the camera's shaking. He's screaming, Crab's screaming. It's awful, and like the camera shake is just surreal. And like it does a nuclear bomb like sound wave shake and pans out to like this explosive fart. And it's just like, what is this film? Like the actual volume of it causing a sound wave. Oh
Yeah, it is crazy.
and
But yeah.
And then we're back to gritty realism of like poor kids' best opportunity is to go backstage, fart for a dodgy opera singer.
Yeah. And then he ends up in space. But he does save the people in space. Like, he does save the...
He rescues them. There's a parade in his honour.
Yeah.
Which
Because he's
is, of
fucking
course,
brave.
the best day of his life. Ever.
This film is way better. I know we say this
It
a lot.
shouldn't be this
This
good.
film is way better than it deserves to be.
It's so surreal. And it's so, like, as a kid, you're just like, you just accept that. You're like, yeah, like, cool, Thunderpants, like, whatever. And it kind of washes over you. But as an adult, you're watching this like, what the fuck is happening?
I've never wanted a film to be bad out of spite before. Just like watching it being like, this shouldn't be good. Why?
I was really
good?
expecting this to be awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is
like,
awful, but in like the best way.
Yeah, like it's just all the bits at the end though, where it's like it's just got all that heart of like, you know, him and Alan.
Yeah.
There's clearly a reason that I'd forgotten about the bit where he goes on his little musical tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bit was just a bit weird, but it does set up for him getting convicted of murder.
Yeah.
And then sent to firing squad. It's so fucked.
It's kind of Lemony Snicket.
It is.
Vibes of like where it's like just bad things happen to these kids, and all the adults are like, sucks to be you, I guess.
That's the best way. This does have like Lemony Snicket vibes.
Yeah.
100%.
Because it pushes things so far over the edge of what is actually like reasonable or possible, but it's because it sets these ridiculous standards and it keeps itself to them, and it's like, yeah, he can do a shockwave sound fart, and that fart can then be used to power a rocket.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, yeah, like you're fully in to it.
But it's so like they don't want to have any time skips or anything, so everything happens. It's like he is found guilty, he's taken out and shot like instantly.
Yeah,
and
there's like a voiceover, but there's no passage of time in the film. Like it all seems to happen in like a few weeks.
Yeah, and then like he gets on Air Force One, he's in NASA instantly.
Yeah.
They test the rockets. 30 seconds later, they're loading him into it, and he's got to leave. Like it's so like there's no time skips at all.
But it justifies it by being like they are desperate to save these astronauts. They will die if they don't get a successful like mission done pronto.
Yeah. But it's not like test couple hours. It's so quick.
It's so funny. But yeah, I thought I was going to hate this. I thought it was going to be cringy.
It deserves to be
bad.
bad.
And yeah, it's just a stupid kids film. And I was expecting it to be, obviously there is a lot of toilet humour in this, but I was expecting it to be crass and obnoxious and also just a bit, I don't know, like, I remember he goes to space, but that was literally all I could remember. And I probably remembered that because it's on the fucking front cover.
Yeah.
But, oh my goodness. I had a real treat watching this film. I was giggling the entire time.
Good.
Like, my husband was watching me watching it, and every now and then he'd fart, and I'd just be like, was that you? And he's like, no, what? And then he'd be like, yeah, I got you. I mean, yeah, some of the camera shaking stuff, it was so bad it's good though. Like, it was hysterical that they were like, yeah, no, we're gonna do like a proper bomb going off
Yeah.
action scene for this bit.
Like Indiana Jones getting into a fridge kind of scene.
Yeah.
It's but it I had a amazing time watching it.
So stupid.
And that's why I'm giving this, I would say, a 6 out of 10 people going to shoot a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important for firing squad when you're killing a child, though, to really not know who it is.
Exactly. Yeah, you need to have as many.
You need to be able to tell
people
yourself that I'm not.
What
I'm
if
not
they
the...
shot him and it ruptured his stomach and he explodes like a whale?
Stomachs.
Stomachs, yeah.
I think
That's what they deserve for, killing a
Shooting
12-year-old.
child.
yeah. I think I agree with 6, but I can't tell you why. Like, I
No,
can't
I
explain
thought it was going to be lower. It should
why
be lower, but
this
it's a
film
6.
is enjoyable. I just can't.
It's
Yeah,
because this movie gave me the best day of my life.
Like,
Ever.
my logical brain says this film should be like a 3. Like,
Yeah.
my
It
brain's like,
should
this
be
film
bad.
should be a 3. But there's something about it. Something
Yeah.
about this film
And like
that's
Alan's
good.
like insufferable Hermione Granger-esque posh accent,
Yeah.
which is just indisputably terrible.
Beautiful.
And he's like playing this massive nerd, and it's not massively convincing because the part of my brain is like, nah, Ron Weasley. It's
No,
Ron
no, no.
Weasley. Ron
Yeah.
Weasley thick.
But they're
And-
also like children. Like they're
Yeah.
also like it's not well acted. This film isn't well
it's
acted.
not. But
It's
I mean, actually, Patrick Smash is quite. At least he's consistent.
he's
Yeah.
consistent.
It's just so silly. But honestly, I think it was so. It's not that we tend to watch particularly highbrow films anyway, but it was so fun to just watch
Yeah.
a film that's all about farting, and you just get to sit there and enjoy something so base and so
Yeah.
silly and like no hold barred, if you'll pardon the pun. And it was just a treat. It felt like it was like a little day off for my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
this
just like,
that's
oh,
it.
yeah, and but it's good. It's not like watching crap reality TV or whatever, where you switch your brain off and you're like, this feels bad for me. Like it was genuinely like funny
Yeah,
and
fully.
sweet, but also baffling and just ridiculous to the point where you're like, well, I just accept it. I'm just going to take this film as it is.
Yeah, you can't watch this film critically. You
No.
can't be like, I'm going to sit down and analyze this. You can't do it. The film doesn't let you.
Yeah,
Like,
what is the deeper meaning?
Yeah,
Don't
the-
be a shit to kids that can't control
Yeah.
their bowels.
This film doesn't let you
Yeah.
approach this film like intellectually.
And then at the end, it's like, oh, even if you do have a problem, you might be able to use that to your advantage, and actually, it could be a good thing.
You're
Don't,
like,
don't be ashamed.
okay.
And you're like, oh my god, what?
Sure. Yeah, it's so. Oh, this film's great. This film is like, you know how some films are kind of hostile to the watcher and it's like kind of hard to get through. This film's the opposite. It's so like all encompassing. You're like, you just have to watch it.
It's
Yeah.
it's good, like
It's
kids
good.
film where it's like, you know,
great.
farts are funny.
Yeah, that's the core to this film. Is fucks are funny.
Which is what I thought it was gonna be. I thought the whole movie was just gonna be like really obnoxious, awful. Look, he's
Fart
farting all the
jokes.
time. But instead, it's like, nope, he's gonna use his farts and go and rescue people from space.
Yeah.
Because they give him so much personality, and but obviously it centers around his uncontrollable farting.
Yeah.
Which it's so hard to talk about this film in any kind of seriousness.
No,
But
you can't.
because
It
the
doesn't let
farts-
you.
The fart jokes are so frequent that they're not. The farting isn't in itself always funny. It's just part of the story.
Yeah.
So you're
The-
like sympathetic to him.
The farts are very rarely the butt of the joke.
Yeah, that's something.
How
so
long did
strange.
you have that one rating?
Yeah. But they're not. They never like make a joke because he farts a lot.
Yeah.
It's just a sad thing that happens to this boy
This poor child.
who is then neglected by every doctor and oh man, and then set up for a fucking firing squad. The film's insane.
Absolutely Absolutely
recommend
crazy.
watching it.
Yeah.
Has it held up well? I don't know. I feel like this film will be exactly the same, however, whenever you watch it.
Yeah, it's exactly how I remember it, bar the bits that I must have thought were boring as a kid.
In like 100 years, you could watch this film, you'd have the exact same experience. Culture
Yeah.
cannot change.
Thunderpants
around
is
this
timeless.
Yeah. No matter how much the culture changes, this film will still be this film. It is devoid of all time.
Helena,
So
what
is
are
it
you
British
gonna rate
Pathé?
it? Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Of
Which
course
just
it
says
is.
a lot. It is same sort of ridiculousness as Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, and Chicken
Run,
Run.
or Chicken Runs, as
Chicken-
this
yeah.
one would be called. Oh my god, he's basically got the wrong trousers on from Wallace and
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like you can see a
It's,
lot of like, and a lot of
Yeah.
that humor where it's like it's ridiculous, but it holds itself to like a ridiculous standard and meets
Yeah.
itself there each
Yeah.
time. It's like, no, we know this is stupid, but
Yeah.
remember, this is a film about a boy that can't stop farting.
Yes.
So
yeah.
actually, is this ridiculous? And no, like, so you can suspend your disbelief really, really easily in this film.
Yeah. So how out of 10?
Out of 10, I guess I'm
It's
just gonna
hard,
read
isn't
the plot, the first line of plot from the Wikipedia page. Born with 2 stomachs, Patrick Smash is uncontrollably and devastatingly flatulent.
That's a good answer.
Oh, and it really does. It starts right there and it just keeps going.
Oh man.
So I'm gonna give this. I think I'm gonna give this 7 devastating farts out of 10 because I had a genuinely good time watching it. It's so daft, but
yeah.
in a way that I am so for. Like,
Yeah.
you've got sometimes you don't have to be grown up about films.
Sometimes you just want a movie where some kid farts and goes to space.
Yeah.
He farts his way to space to save some people.
Yeah, for the good of the planet.
But not in the way that you'd think.
And then, I mean, let's face it, this film then follows up to being they can use the power of his farts to, like, actually produce energy.
I don't think this
Oh yeah,
film
hook this
thought
baby
that
bad
far
boy up to the
ahead.
national grid.
Yeah.
You're careening towards a body horror at that point.
Oh, yeah. Let's not
Oh,
go
man.
there. So,
Yeah.
with all that fart talk, I've been Dan.
I've been Michael.
And I've been Helena.
You can find this podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Hilton Pod. That's at HILTM Pod. We're on Discord as well if you want to come and chat to us about if you have any memories of this movie.
Tell us your best fart joke.
Yeah.
We also have a Patreon where you can support the show so we can keep watching movies like this. What are we doing for Patreon
I
this
don't
week?
fucking know. I don't know. This
We're
film,
making a spaceship out of farts.
this film has fried my brain when it comes. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to relate anything to this film. It's its own entity.
We're gonna can we use the money to find out what happened to Bruce Cook?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
ask him how he feels about this movie now.
Yeah.
And also,
we'll
we'll get Ron Weasley.
I wanna.
That might be harder.
Spend the money finding every person that's been in this film and ask them how they feel about it.
We'll do a series like Finding Drago, or like just full on investigative journalism.
Yeah.
What happened to Bruce
We're gonna
Cook?
start a side podcast called I don't know what we'd call it.
Finding Farty Pants.
Finding Thunderpants is that's the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna use them.
And if people turn out to be really anti it could be called Thunder Rants.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
that's it. Oh, Jesus Christ. This film.
Sorry, I'm currently reading the scarymummy.com/best fart jokes.
Right. You got to tell us some to wrap up
Yeah,
the
we gotta
episode.
tell
then.
that one. We'll end
What'd
on
you
it.
get when an aristocrat farts? A noble gas.
And that's
Yeah,
where we end it.
That's terrible. Yeah.
I just rang the incontinence hotline and the woman said, "Can you hold, please?" I didn't fight in front of my partner until we got married. Her family wasn't too impressed.
I was trying to think of that one that's in The Last of Us, which is about, diarrhea is like a family issue because it runs in your genes.
Why won't the skeleton fart in public? He doesn't have the guts.